Niamh and company passed by a village evidently pillaged by the Nilfgaardians. From afar they had heard cries, but as they drew near they recognized them not as cries of grief, but as cursing, cries of anger.
Give him a proper walloping, the scoundrel!
Mercy, good folk! I've done nothing wrong!
The villagers stood gathered near the hamlet's center, surrounding an elf, bloodied and cowering. Stones in hand, the peasants threatened and cursed him. The queen demanded an explanation. A ruddy-faced blacksmith stepped forth and spit.
A Nilfgaardian spy the horseman is, your majesty! He's the one brought him here to raise the village! He's gotta hang!
The other villagers agreed with the smith. The elf fell at the queen's feet and groveled.
Have mercy, Renna! Save your loyal subject! They lie! They fault me only as I am an elf!
Niamh was torn, could not decide who spoke the truth. She thus resolved not to meddle at all. Coming to the elf's defense could only rile the resentful crowd. Later, as the villagers placed a noose around his neck, the elf cursed the queen's indifference to his fate.
Devils take you, Thronebreaker! Devils take you! Your line! Your whole damned land!
Niamh gave the signal to depart. As her force marched off, all heard the elf's cries of grief and pleas for mercy. Then they stopped mid-sentence, and the silence rang in Niamh's and her soldiers' ears.
Whence this certainty of his guilt? Have you any proof?
Asked Niamh.
Did anyone see him communing with the foe? Did he hold any coin with a foreign stamp?
The villagers eyed Niamh angrily, their hands clenched into fists. Yet none dared utter a word in protest.
Know this. The Blackclads need no reason to pillage our homes. Now stand aside and let this wretch go.
The elf tearfully thanked the queen, then begged her not to leave him behind. Instead, he pleaded vehemently to join her retinue.
Your most noble grace, please, I beg you. As soon as you're gone, the Dwan will hang me from the nearest tree.
To stop a lynching was one thing. It was another to admit one of uncertain reputation into her ranks. So she denied the elf's request. Yet he sought still to persuade her.
Your grace, you know I shall surely die here should I remain.
Then pack your belongings and move on, sir.
Said the queen, swatting aside the elf's hands raised in supplication.
No more can I do for you.
The elf was unhappy with the queen's decision, this was clear. But he had sense enough to keep his tongue. Soon after, he left the hamlet, a bundle on his back, barking dogs and peasant oaths at his heels.
So be it.
Said the queen after a moment's consideration.
Find the quartermaster. He's to put you to work. And now we march.
The villagers gazed with hatred as the company left the hamlet. When its thatched roof huts disappeared beyond the next bend, Niamh breathed a sigh of relief. Niamh stood surrounded by advisors, discussing, when all at once they heard a mighty thud.
Bloody hell!
They looked to see a cavalryman who'd clearly fallen from his saddle. The men who'd witnessed the blunder began to jest, only to choke on their laughter, as the wretch, having risen to his hands and knees, began to shake and vomit blood. The medic's diagnosis: poison. In spite of his best efforts, the cavalryman breathed his last that very night. Soon, several other riders developed the same symptoms, and at the last shared their comrade's fate. All were buried at the roadside, beneath an old willow.
This looks to be no coincidence.
Reynard said, gravely.
Our stores of water. Someone's poisoned them. We must find the fiend. In the interim, your majesty must quench her thirst with wine.
One evening, soldiers brought before Niamh the elf she had saved from a lynching. It seemed he had been the fiend who had poisoned the water barrels from which several soldiers had drunk, then suffered and died.
Yes, I did it. And I regret it not one bit.
Seethed the elf.
Nilfgaardian, Temerian, some brute from Lyria. You Dwan are all alike. I detest you. All of you, your filth for what you wrought with my brethren. I'm proud. I am that even a few of your kind perished at my hand. Hail Enshay!
Meve pursed her lips into a thin white line. Reynard knew the expression. It did not bode well.
I should drag you to the capital. Hang you high in the market square.
Meve said through gritted teeth.
Yet this you would want. Am I right? For your folk to speak of you? For your folk to remember? Well, you shan't have it. You'll hang here, in the middle of nowhere, with but crows to witness it and then pick at your eyes.
It was a summary execution. No sentence was read, no last wish observed. The elf's corpse then hung long at the roadside, as none came forth to claim and bury it.